Hello there and welcome. Welcome to another video. And today I want to take you on a plane trip. Let's fly home together. I mean, the whole point of doing our therapy is really clearing up the human, the lower, the problematic ballast that keeps us stuck in the human to allow us to rise in our consciousness, to allow us to free ourselves more easily and move into the superconscious. Now, some people do go into the superconscious and kind of hang out there in some way to avoid the subconscious, the wounding, the trauma, all the issues. But I find that's very ungrounded. It's not a very stable way of being it, and there's a real limitation in how high we can go. Whereas the wonderful people I've worked with over almost 30 years now, I've found, might have really deep trauma, terrible, incredibly intense trauma that they're working with, but they've got the strength, they've got the maturity, they've got the capacity to face it, own it, heal it. And what I find is that people, perhaps like yourself, have a very deep, healthy root system. They've cleaned up the root system, and we all need to do that. We need to keep doing that. Not everyone does do it, unfortunately, but if we do, there's the grounding, and that deep root system allows our branches to soar ever higher. And that, for me, ultimately is the whole point of it. It's not just to have a happy human life, it's to remember who we are so that we can bring our spiritual self, our soul self, connected to all that is, to all life, all beings that we're connected to bring that knowing, that peace, that light, that love into our human existence, into our expression, really unifying and harmonizing the two. So we spend a lot of time, obviously, working on childhood trauma issues, and I'll continue to share around those things, of course. We need to do the work. We need to know what's in us. But today, let's go on a different guided journey here to really have a look more at going home to our true place in consciousness, in reality, the truth of what we are as eternal souls. So if you're ready, I'd invite you to just get yourself comfortable, adjust however you need to, have a sip of your mushroom tea, and get yourself ready for our journey. You can close down the eyes, starting with a few nice, long, deep breaths. Just deepen the inhalation. And as you exhale, just letting go any tension, any holding. Just breathing deep into the belly. Nice, long, full breath. And exhaling out completely, letting go any stress. Breathing in peace, breathing in relaxation, and exhaling any holding, any tension. And as you continue to drop in, automatically each breath taking you deeper within, each heartbeat taking you deeper still. What if you were to imagine a plane, nice big plane at the airport? It might be a little Cessna, it might be a 747, big jet plane, whatever you prefer, whatever feels right, whatever you see and notice right now. But it's big enough to carry passengers. And I want you to notice on your plane the wheel chocks. Chocks are those blocks they put in front of the wheels to stop the plane from moving. And our trauma can act like these wheel chocks. You might notice a wheel chock there with the word fear painted on it. There might be another one with guilt painted on it. Maybe another one with rage painted on it. Whatever the trapped emotion, the trapped charge, the issues unresolved from the past, whatever they might be, Well, I want you to simply today move them aside, drag them out of the way. Yeah, we can give them more love and attention another time. But for now, we want to get this plane in the air. And so just moving those chocks away. And when the wheels are freed up, that truck thing pushes the plane back. You can feel it now. You're up in the cockpit. And you can feel the movement as you push back on the tarmac. Feels good just to be moving. And the truck backs you out into that free area on the tarmac. And now just notice as you start to move the throttle forward, start to bring that power to the engines, propellers, jets, whatever they are. Just notice that energy going into the engines, and you feel the plane start to move. This plane that you're in, that you are in some way, starts to move forward. And feel how that feels to be taxiing now right to the start of the runway. And you eventually get there and turn around, and you can see down that long runway. You're ready to go. And now you go full throttle, and all that energy goes into the engines. They power up. You can feel them, start to feel the G-force as your plane starts to gather momentum, picking up speed, going faster and faster down the runway. You can feel that G-force, these powerful engines thrusting you forward. And eventually there's enough speed, and that lift brings up under the wings, lifts you up. The nose lifts up, and you take off. Feel that freedom as you're off the ground now. Your plane moving up into the sky. You attract the wheels into the undercarriage, or lifts up, and it's you now flying into the air. You bank lightly, slightly to the left or right as you turn around. And feel what that's like now to have your plane in the air as you fly, as you move up, continuing to gain altitude. And notice when you move into the clouds, you sort of move into that haze. You might even notice the water molecules on the window as you move up through the cloud, gaining speed, gaining altitude, flying higher and higher. And then you break through the clouds. Notice this moment when your plane moves up through the clouds into that open sky, soaring now into this open sky. And beneath you now, in all directions, that sea of white clouds below. As you look up into the open sky and the sun that's always there, that beautiful golden sun sharing its warmth, its rays, shining on you now. It's always there, even when it's hidden beneath the clouds, but here you are in open sky. And you feel the loving warmth of that sun. You feel the presence somehow here up as you fly up into your cruising altitude. It's flying now up in this open sky, and feel how good it feels to be so much closer to the sun, so much closer to the source of life. And as you soar through the sky, your co-pilot, whoever, can take over the controls. You put on autopilot, and you move now out into the cabin. And you notice here in the cabin are all these other people, these other beings that love you. This is your soul family. These are other souls you have deep loving connection with. And notice how warmly they greet you, how pleased they are to see you, how happy they are that you've lifted your awareness up into the higher aspects of yourself, your mind. You've raised your consciousness today so high now that you can connect with them, greet them. And even if you don't immediately recognize them, somehow in your heart of heart, you know each of these beings. Somehow you know them. They're closer to you than your own flesh and blood somehow. And as you move through the cabin, connecting, greeting, exchanging in this loving, warm connection with all your kindred spirits, soul family. And as you keep moving down the cabin, you notice someone sitting quietly up the back. But they're looking at you with such love, such kindness, such compassion. But you recognize too that they're also proud of you, that somehow they're a mentor for you, somehow they're a teacher for you, because this is your main spiritual guide. This is the being that serves through guiding you. And you might have been working under the care of this guide for a long, long, long time. And so notice how good it feels to reconnect in conscious awareness with your main guide. And some guides have great senses of humor. Some guides are quite stern. Some are just very playful and loving. And just notice how your guide is, their spiritual personality, if you like. And as you connect with them, just feel how much love and care there is for you. And of course, however they turn up, however they appear to you in whatever body or form or costume, it's perfect. You recognize them. That's how they like to present themselves to you. But you have a moment here to connect with them, to sit with them, to get a download, if you like. Have a chat with them, get some guidance, get some feedback. And you can ask them, hey, how am I doing in my life? How am I doing? Notice how they respond. Perhaps you have a question for them. So something I could be doing differently, or what should I work on? What would you encourage me to maybe do differently? It might be a major change. It might just be a minor tweak, but just have a conversation. Notice what they want you to know. Just take it in, breathe it in. And you can take as long as you like here. You can come back here, of course. You could even pause this video if you're really feeling a strong connection and communicating. And when you're ready, you just express your love and gratitude to your guide and just notice the beautiful energy. Take that in, feel that, absorb that beautiful high frequency of love. They extend to you, and you part ways. You say goodbye and make your way back through the cabin, reconnecting with all your loved ones on the way. And you're back up front in the cabin. Yeah, and there's help there. Helping you now as you take one last look around and feel what it's like to be up in the open sky, this high consciousness state of soul connection. And you recognize, this is who I am. This is my real self, my greater self. This is who and what I am in consciousness beyond time and space when I'm not in incarnation. And feel that, breathe it in, and just notice how good it feels to be so much closer to the sun, the source of love and light that is the divine, our divine parents, our source, prime creator, all it is. Feel that breathing it in, absorbing all this, because you're going to bring this with you back to earth now, back to the human as you gently tilt the nose down. Feel that incline as you start to make your descent. Plane, very gradually moving down from that high altitude down through the levels, eventually moving through the clouds. If there's clouds, maybe it's clear today. Maybe it's cleared since you took off. But you can see the earth now, it becomes clearer. You can see the airport, you can see the runway there in the distance. As you just very gradually come in towards the earth again, feeling this, bringing all this wonderful high energy with you, the soul connection with you, as you gently bring your bird down to land, eventually coming to the runway. Initial bump as the wheels hit and start to spin, and then the plane gradually touching down, coming back to earth, putting the thrusters back in reverse, slowing yourself down until you're just taxiing back to the terminal now. And bringing all this feeling with you, bringing that higher energy of the greater you, bringing that superconscious aspect of mind, connecting to soul, to spirit, to truth, to reality, to love and freedom, bringing all that with you into the human, into the body, brain, personality. And as you park the plane, as you eventually walk out of the plane of consciousness, feel what it's like to bring this consciousness with you into your human movement, into your human expression, into your human existence. And now just deepening the breath, now starting to bring your awareness back into the space. Take another deep breath, bring that beautiful feeling with you, that flying, that soaring, the home, the energies of home, bringing that with you now into the room, into the space, soft eyes opening when you're ready, just gently, slowly, gradually coming back into a full waking consciousness, fully awake, fully alert. So, well done. How did you go? I hope you found that was powerful, and you might like to practice that. You'd find that gets easier with practice too, but hopefully you had a real sense of that higher frequency, that higher consciousness as you reconnected with those greater aspects of what we are at our core in our deeper psychology. And perhaps you had some wonderful exchanges there with Soul Family, with your guide, your main guide. I hope you enjoyed that. So, lots of love. Look forward to seeing you next time. You can continue this sort of work. Have a look at the Power of Mind audio program. You'll find that through the website. And that goes through really thorough steps of learning how to do this inner work, self-hypnosis work. You might find that really helpful. But yeah, lots of fun to go flying with you. And we'll see you next time.